Hello guys and gals, hope you're all doing well. Here we are with another video for you. It's kind of a follow-up video, or to correct the previous video in which we predicted the 2020 to 21 NHL standings. It appears there has been some divisional realignments, largely due to COVID-19, which we won't get into my opinion on that because it's not too terribly popular. Anywho, in the Western Division, we now have the Anaheim Ducks, the Arizona Coyotes, the Colorado Avalanche, the Minnesota Wild, the Los Angeles Kings, the San Jose Sharks, the St. Louis Blues, and the Vegas Golden Knights. In the Central Division, we have the Carolina Hurricanes, the Chicago Blackhawks, Columbus Blue Jackets, Dallas Stars, Detroit Red Wings, Florida Panthers, Nashville Predators, and Tampa Bay Lightning. In the Eastern Division, we have the Boston Bruins, Buffalo Sabres, New Jersey Devils, New York Islanders, New York Rangers, Philadelphia Flyers, Washington Capitals. Got tongue-tied there. And the North Division, this one has a lot of people talking. It equates to an all-Canadian division. It has all the Canadian teams, being the Ottawa Senators, the Montreal Canadiens, the Toronto Maple Leafs, Winnipeg Jets, Edmonton Oilers, Calgary Flames, and Vancouver Canucks. So let's get into our picks here. And in the North Division, being the Canadian division, we have Edmonton at first, Winnipeg in second, Toronto in third, Calgary in fourth, Montreal in fifth, Vancouver in sixth, and Ottawa in seventh. Some interesting things we notice is Edmonton and Winnipeg are pretty evenly matched. Edmonton gives up quite a bit in net compared to Winnipeg, having allowed more goals than Winnipeg, but also having scored more. I do believe Edmonton has a little more firepower on offense than Winnipeg does, given the likes of players like Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl. So that's where I rank them first. But the Jets are definitely stronger in net, so Edmonton will need their goalies to stand tall. I've also noted that Toronto and Winnipeg are pretty close as well. However, Winnipeg has had one advantage, being that they have managed to finish more games in regulation than Toronto. Both teams have pretty good forward groups. However, I believe Winnipeg comes out way ahead in goaltending, as well as I believe they come out ahead in both wings. Despite Toronto's reasonable success last season, there was actually only 4 teams that had more goals scored against them than Toronto did. And Winnipeg, while they may well be one of the most tenacious, hardworking teams in the league, Calgary is a hardworking, talented team. They allowed less goals than Toronto. However, with a negative goal differential, being that they've given up more goals than they scored, and had the second of the newly aligned divisions. They have the second worst home record out of last season. Vancouver is good, 6 spots up from the last season before. However, Montreal was down 10 spots. Um, but if history's taught us anything, it's that Montreal should not be underestimated. In the East Division, we have Boston in first, the New York Islanders in second, Washington in third, Pittsburgh in fourth, Philadelphia in fifth, the New York Rangers in sixth, and the Buffalo Sabres in seventh, and the New Jersey Devils in eighth. Boston definitely had a lot going for them last season. In a slightly shortened season, most teams playing around 70 games, give or take one or two. Boston was the only team to finish with 100 points, and had the season went full length, they were on pace for 117 points. Not to mention, they only had 4 regulation losses at home, as well as allowing the fewest goals against them in the league, as well as the best goal differential. So I think they're the favorite for this division. However, if the Islanders keep up some of the steam that they demonstrated in the playoffs, I think they're definitely a force to be reckoned with, and could definitely give Boston a run for their money if they keep their noses to the grindstone. I definitely think, though, that the Washington Capitals and the Pittsburgh Penguins could definitely be dark horses in this division. I don't know if I see either team finishing 1 or 2, but they were both on pace still to clear 100 points last year had the season went full length. And there's a ton of skill and a lot of experience on both of those two teams. So even though I have them picked 3rd and 4th out of 8, either of those teams finishing higher than that would not surprise me. Philadelphia was the big mover in that division, finishing 5th in the league this last season, which is actually up 17 spots from the year before. Buffalo and New Jersey, probably not going to do too much. Both teams do have some good talent, so I guess we'll see. But they both had fairly negative goal differentials this past season, which makes it tough to put together too many W's. Buffalo did, weirdly enough, despite finishing towards the bottom of the league, they had not a horrible home record, finishing 11th in the league, so a little above average. So I do think they will do a little bit better than this last season. However, I guess what any team will do remains to be seen. So then we have the Central Division, and this is a bit of a mixed bag, as it features some top-end talent, but also some teams that are struggling quite a bit. And I mean, whenever you have the Stanley Cup champions, and the team that finished dead last in the league in the same division, one will sometimes want to say top-end talent and bottom-end talent. But let's face it, the NHL currently lists total roster numbers of about 743 players. And to be one of 743 in a world of just under 7.6 billion people is pretty crazy. So in this division, I have Tampa Bay finishing first, Dallas in second, Carolina in third, Columbus in fourth, Florida in fifth, Nashville in sixth, Chicago in seventh, and Detroit in eighth. In the West Division, I think there will certainly be some disparity between the top couple teams and the bottom couple teams. but there will certainly be some good hockey to be played in this division. I'm looking forward to seeing the battle between Colorado and St. Louis, as last year the two teams finished only 2 teams apart. However, St. Louis did play one more game, but still basically identical. The two teams are fairly close in both goals for and against. The main difference is when it comes to home and road records. St. Louis was better at home than what Colorado was. However, for road wins, it's the reverse, in which actually saw Colorado have more victories on the road than anybody. Vegas, they finished a little bit lower last year, but they were on pace to hit 99 points still, which is not awful. It puts you in contention most seasons. And I find they also don't struggle with age either, as on their roster they only have 3 players that exceed the age of 30, so it's always good to have some youth there. Minnesota will probably be they're a little bit of a toss-up. They'll likely finish around the middle, I believe. However, there's always some room to go either up or down, but of course wishing them the best as well as every other team. And in this division I have Colorado finishing first, St. Louis finishing second, Vegas in third, Minnesota in fourth, Arizona in fifth, San Jose in sixth. I think they'll move up a little bit from last year. We have Anaheim in seventh, and the Los Angeles Kings rounding it off at 8th. And we appreciate you guys joining us. It looks like that's about all we have here for this video. Be sure to like and subscribe. Sorry for the mix-up from the last video. I didn't realize that they were doing a realignment, so I apologize for that. Any questions or comments are always welcome. Once more, be sure to subscribe, and thanks for joining.